Hi there, it's Natasha and thank you so much for joining me today. This is card number 2 on my Christmas card series for this year. So I hope you enjoy it. We're going to be using a couple of stamp sets and then mainly this little snowman builder set. So all of these little dies came together and I've done pre-cut some of the die cutting just to make the video a bit easier. So I've cut out the wee base to the snow globe in a sort of dark charcoal colour. And then here I am creating the little snowman. So he's got a little hat, some arms, a scarf, and then some little bits and pieces for his button. Before that, I'm just going to quickly add some clear Wink of Stella to the base of the snow globe. And you can see it gives it a really nice sparkle. And I'm also going to add a little bit to the top of his, or to the snowman's hat. And again, that gives it a nice wee shimmery shine. This is a double stitched circle and I will link to those below. It's just one that I have in my stash, so I just found a circle that kind of fit the right size of the snow globe to make life easier. And I'm just putting my little snowman together and using some multi-matte medium. This is the Ranger brand in a precision tip bottle. The bottle is from AliExpress. Anything from AliExpress I will link below in case you're interested. I cut out his little nose in some orange and I used a little glaze pen, a Jelly Roll glaze pen, to do his eyes. And here's where I muck up a little bit. I popped his little buttons on, which I've cut out in red, and then I realized that when I go to put his scarf on that I'm going to cover up his buttons. So I just removed the top one and the middle one, and then I can put the scarf on, and I only end up replacing one more button underneath that. Otherwise they looked a bit too squished to me. So I have cut out, as I said, out of just a random circle die that I had in my stash. You could also just sketch around the outside of the little circle that comes with the snow globe to create the globe. And that would give you a circle too. And then I'm just running these, I'm wanting to create some hills, snowy little hills for my snowman to sit on. And so I'm running it through my Cuttlebug, just random pieces of white paper, so that I get the stitched outline on them. Again, if you were just to cut them out, it would make it much simpler because then you wouldn't have to worry about it having the stitching on it. And I'm just cutting them freehand with some scissors. So just doing my best to cut some hill shapes. And I end up adjusting them lots. But anyhow, all good. So I do actually end up putting some foam squares behind the little hills, but I end up having to take those out later because I realized that the glitter will escape in our snow globe. So I'm using some, I was actually going to use some Distress ink, but I didn't like the way that it's stamped. You can see there on the right hand side. So I end up using this, I think it might be Hero Arts Field Greens or Green Fields, some green ink, and I end up having to pretty much double stamp it anyway. But anyway, so I use 2 of the trees out of the set, and then in the set they also have a layering stamp, and so I'm going to stamp the layering stamp over it as well, but I'm going to do this one in sticky embossing ink. Here I am just putting some, this is an EK Success powder tool, an anti-static powder tool, so that it doesn't stick anywhere that I don't want it to, and I'm just adding some white embossing powder over top of that, so that it kind of looks like snow, I guess. This little card was a little bit fiddly. I did enjoy doing it. I had heaps of camera problems when I was doing it as well, running out of batteries and things, and the light changing on me, and so yeah, it took me longer than it probably should have, but it was still fun. This is a Versamarker pen. This is the same thing as the sticky ink. It's in a pen form, and it just puts down a line of sticky ink so that I could create some snow on top of those little hills. And it's kind of hard to see. I apologize because the camera's focusing on the pile of embossing powder. But yeah, you get the gist of it. Anyhow, so you can kind of see it there. It creates a nice little edging of snow. This is the paper that I've been using, this Neenah Solar White, Neenah color pack of paper, and I really like this sort of deep red out of it. and I've been using it a lot, so I really like it. And I'm just cutting it down to, my card base is a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, 110 pound Neenah Solar White, and so I'm just cutting that red bit down to just shy of that. I'm using that Stag stamp set to get the Merry Christmas. I really like that little Merry Christmas out of it. And again, I'm just using some embossing ink, and I'm going to emboss it with the same white. It's a nice fine white embossing powder. So here I go. You can see that the little circle is in the middle, the one that comes with it. And I just put the two together to create that tiny little silver trim that will go around the outside. I have some sheets of acetate, and again, you can use anything. You can use packaging, you can use spare plastic you have, or if you have acetate, that's even better. I'm using a little bit of liquid glue to glue this onto that outside ring, and then I still have the foam tape in at the moment, but I will remove it later on because I realize that the glitter is going to escape through it. Putting my little snowman up on some foam squares so that he sits kind of nice and forefront in the picture. And on top of that hill, I want him, he is the main feature of this shaker, so I want him to stand out. And then I have these Darice tiny little thin strips that I have actually been using a lot recently. They're super fiddly, but if you take off the backing paper, they curve really nicely around a circle. So I think two of them fit almost perfectly around the circle. So that worked out just really well. And because I was using glitter, I wanted them to butt up to each other really nicely. I wanted it to be nice and tight. This is some Nuvo Pure Sheen Diamond Glitter that I'm going to tip in the back. And this is going to be my shaker element. You can use whatever you have, any fine glitter. You could use sequins, you might have some snow effects or anything. This is a Marvy marker, and it is snow marker, and you just put little dots of it and heat it up, and it kind of puffs up to look like snow. And so I just wanted some in the background to look like falling snow perhaps. And so there it is before I put the front on. He does look cute. I must say I do like this little snowman. I think he measures about maybe 2 inches, 2 inches maximum. So he's a pretty small little snowman. Anyway, so there's my little shaker element, and I've got my adhesive on the back, and I just pull little tabs out, line it up, and then pull them out from the sides. And then it's perfect. I'm just putting the little base to the snow globe up on a piece of foam tape, and then using some liquid glue to attach it to the front of the snow globe. And I smeared a little bit on the acetate. And then that's pretty much my card for today. I hope that you guys have enjoyed this little card. I actually really like this one. It turned out, it kind of looks pretty simple, but yeah, I really enjoyed making it. So thanks so much for joining me, and I will see you next time in my next card for this series. Thanks so much. See you next time. Bye.